Frank cigar, and it blew up, and it.
No, what I did was I was trying to make like crispy potatoes, but I didn't really have enough time, right? So I boiled them, but I read that you if you boil them in like water that has like baking soda in it, and then a little bit of vinegar, it will like make it'll give like a residue on the potato, and then if you roast them, they get like really nice and crispy because that like caked on. Yeah. Anyway, so I was like, and I pulled them out and I put them in the oven. I was like, I have this broccoli I should make.
Okay.
And yeah, that does work. But I took it and put it in the fucking acidic water that I made, and it just looked fine. It was like it actually looked delicious, and I was like, oh wow, the water's turning really really green for some reason. And then I took them out, and then I put them in the wok to just stir fry them, and I just watched them liquefy in the pan. Like it was so disgusting. And I tried it. It literally tasted like somebody had like it tasted like one of those chlorophyll drinks. If you ever had one of those, like eating grass clippings, kind of.
Big fan of those drinks. I like it.
Reminds me of a song that I always hear when my kids listen to certain, I think it's called super simple songs, and they do the thing where it's like, do you like broccoli? Yes, I do. Do you like acidic water? Yes, I do. Do you like broccoli acidic water? Ew, yucky.
Well, today I learned it is indeed yucky, and you should not do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we sing that a lot. For some reason, I found out my kids got home right before we started the show from McDonald's. That's why I was eating a McChicken, and my son decided to pull a French fry out of the Happy Meal and say pee pee poo poo, and I was just like, "That's my boy."
It begins.
That's my
guy begins.
Right there.
Definitely yours.
He's learning quick.
I mean, really, all it is that I have actually never grown up beyond being 2 years old inside. Like, this is everyone has this in them. It's just beaten out of them by life.
Yeah,
that's true.
No, he's gonna
stop calling things pee pee poo poo because it's not acceptable.
No, he's gonna carry on the dynasty. He's gonna do the next.
Oh, the mixtape.
Yeah, he's gonna do part 2. After
I'm glad it wasn't fat dicks, because I was gonna say let's not sexualize children.
Oh no,
here,
no,
but
he's not gonna say any of that. It's just pee pee poo poo.
Speaking of sexualizing children, though, I had to. What a transition! God damn!
What a transition, bro.
I do deserve a trophy one day for my transitions on this show. But I wanted to bring this up because it is just flabbergasting to me. This week, me and the Illuminati homies have a group chat where we were just sharing these reels that are like totally getting by on Instagram and Facebook because OnlyFans models will just pretend like they're breastfeeding. At first, I thought they were just straight up pretending that they're breastfeeding to show their tits, but like it's actually that they're doing it. They're claiming it's educational to pretend to breastfeed a fake baby so that you can teach people how to breastfeed with these videos.
It's so funny.
But it's like nothing close to breastfeeding at all.
No, they're like it's hilarious because it's like it's literally just like a woman in like a full face of makeup and everything, and she like takes her titty out, like shakes it a little bit, and then like just sticks it into this fake baby's mouth over and over again, and like displays it and just keeps doing that, like
and we'll like pull it out and squeeze like both breasts.
Okay, I mean, I guess.
You're like,
I mean,
squeezing the baby's head in between it.
Just motorboating.
This is how you
baby.
breastfeed.
Yeah, I, good for them. But it's very weird.
Fair enough. I will say I came around on it that any grift that you can pull over on Facebook, Meta, Instagram, I'm actually in support of that. Like, fuck these platforms. But I think my parent heart, at first was like angry about it because I've seen the process. I've been through that with 2 kids, and it's like breastfeeding is really hard, and like these videos are not it. Like I'm like,
Yeah, where are the big leaking discolored breasts? That's what I want to see. I want to see the real thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of actually like tools and things that are used and pumping and all this other kind of stuff that's not what's happening in these videos.
I wonder,
It's just like,
There's only that liquefy the baby's heads. Just liquefies it.
You don't want to boil the baby in acidic water. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Okay.
Yeah, don't throw the
Tell
baby
you
out
one
with
thing.
the acidic bath water. I'm wondering, what's the next step in this grift? Like, could I like ostensibly do could I ostensibly do some reels where I'm like teaching people how to put a condom on some?
What you want to do is you want to get real hard as you can.
And you got to just put it on over and over and over again with your mouth.
Have a friend help you like this.
The loophole is specifically about breastfeeding, and so that you can show that nipples can be shown on these platforms if it's in the context of breastfeeding. So that's the loophole. There's no penis educational loophole, unfortunately.
Well, it's time. It's time. Let's get it going. But yeah, for some reason I thought the nipple was already freed on Instagram. I guess I was wrong about that, though.
I feel like it's a fine line, which is weird how much regulation there is on breasts on any electronic media. I don't know why they are so heavily regulated. Like, is it just because of how awful dudes have been about sexualizing breasts throughout history that everyone just has to regulate it? Like, nope, sorry, we can't. Have you seen who's watching? Have you noticed who's looking at?
Have you seen what these guys do over breasts? Come on.
bad things.
The whole Trojan War. I mean,
True.
Over one condom.
Just imagining the Spartans like.
And it feels weird. The whole like censoring of the breast thing feels very like it just feels arbitrary because like if you I remember when I just made a TikTok account, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it was first blowing up, I was like, oh, I'll try it out. The stuff they just show you, like off the bat, if you're a man, is just like, here's an ass shaking ass. Here's a woman doing squats. Here's some tits. It's just like, well, at this point, just show me the nipples. I mean, I'm gonna go I'll go on Pornhub. This is ridiculous,
Yeah.
Then before it gets you, before it understands, gets the algorithm going, it's just being like, we know that you're horny, probably. Here you go.
Oh yeah, just the TikTok raw algorithm is crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, you're just out here doing TikTok raw without training your algorithm at all. Like, you're crazy, dog.
Mainlining TikTok algorithm.
Yeah, dude, you got to start liking some,
I don't like anything.
Vinyl collectors videos and people that do carpentry and shit. Hurry, man. Pressure washers and shit. Hit that like button.
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to know the people that like breastfeeding.
Pressure washers.
But imagine the guy who is breastfeed or any person that just is breastfeeding on TikTok. I want to know. You know what? I got to breastfeed, so look up how to do it on TikTok.
That is
this is probably good.
Sincerely, the grossest pervert I can think of.
Is
getting your breastfeeding tips from TikTok.
Homelander would.
Yeah,
Homelander absolutely would.
Yes,
my God.
Actually, Homelander would be the number one person I could think of to do.
Love that guy.
Yeah, I get super bother me whenever people try to use, I think there's been another episode where we didn't name this person, so I won't name them again. But I remember they were making jokes, they thought it was funny to say that all parents were pedophiles, like that by. I can't even remember the connection at this point. It's been that long, but I'm like, don't leave children out of your hypothetical situations that involve any type of sexual things. Just don't do that, please.
For real.
Except for transitions into stories about it, where obviously that's for.
I've felt bad for the last 9 minutes. I'm sorry, I said fat dicks.
Oh no!
I'm sorry. It was just the first thing that came to mind. I didn't think it through.
No, that's not what I meant. Well, speaking of not what you meant or not getting what you expected, we have to talk about this. It's all over the it's all over the fucking internet right now. The faked Willy Wonka exhibit that used AI pics to deceive people to come to this thing. It was like 40 something dollars in Glasgow. Is that right?
Yeah, Scotland somewhere.
Oh,
So
nice.
40 pounds. I don't know if these articles did the conversions or what, but
Yeah.
the fucking pictures are obviously AI. To me, somebody that looks at them literally all day, I can tell immediately this is not a real thing. But I feel so bad for anybody that believed them, because if you go look at the images of the actual exhibit, it's so sad.
Bleak. It is bleak in there.
It's amazing.
I saw somebody like remade it in The Sims. It was just super funny, and they only used stock assets, and it looked very much like the real place. Like it's like a tapestry on the wall that's like a cockeyed, and then like a woman at a table with like some side stuff and like some candy on it.
A big part of the decorations were simply just big, vinyl printouts of like a Wonka land, like taped on the walls, like you said, like all sideways, and like I think they had some stuff that like I wouldn't know where you get like a big giant rainbow and like some fake mossy grass hill things, but like it's literally like you just go in a warehouse with a few like items, like a one gummy bear that's way bigger than it should be. And
I saw the Wonka bar that they had, the big plastic Wonka bar.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, it was like clearly just made. They just made it themselves. It was it's bad, man.
Yeah. It's grim.
I felt bad. Like they were like had some quotes in the article I read, and it was like some of these people drove 2 hours to come to this fucking thing.
Gosh.
Oh my god.
And they brought like their 2 or 3 children with them. Like, could you imagine being like, all right, we're gonna go. Let's go to the Wonka thing, and you like, I guess didn't look into it enough because you're like, it's in Glasgow, like it's got to be legit. Like they want to go, like, and then you just go, you drive all there, you're like hyping it up, like, oh, we're gonna go on this journey to go to the fucking Willy Wonka thing, and you just get there and it's like a drunk guy in like a Willy Wonka costume that's like a child's Willy Wonka costume. Like, damn, dude.
Yeah, it would traumatize me if I were a child, I think, and that was an experience that I had, because it's like you were lied to for several hours on your way to this little bleak hellscape, and now anytime your parents say, no, this thing's gonna be great, it's gonna be fun, you're gonna think it's probably just gonna be another Wonka land.
But all those kids turned into like Charlie's uncle or whatever, that dude that's
they can't walk anymore.
Yeah, it just became.
They have reverse Charlie's uncle syndrome.
Lay in bed. This is why Charlie's uncle couldn't get out of bed, is because
all the
that was his experience of the chocolate factory.
Yeah. For 60 years, he lay there in the same bed as his whatever other old relatives.
I just think it's cool they made a fire festival for 7-year-olds.
These poor little fucking Scottish kids.
It's funny because I've heard this compared to Firefest, and also the whatever that con was with the ball pit that is like legendary because it was so sad and somebody peed in it or something.
What was the ball pit story?
Oh gosh, I'll have to go look it up.
Okay.
Tell me. But yeah, there was like these people that tried to throw a convention. I feel like it was
BronyCon or whatever, wasn't it?
Is that what it was?
It was something like that. I'm pretty sure.
Some type of anime convention. The listeners probably are screaming at us right now. But anyway, these were just people that had no idea how to throw a convention and like did it anyway, and it went as spectacularly poorly as you could expect. But the icon, the meme that always comes from that is there was a ball pit. It was advertised as if you were gonna go inside this big room full of balls, and it's literally just like what my kids have off of Amazon, which is as big as my arms right here, full of like 100, 200 balls, and apparently somebody peed in it at some point.
Cool. I don't know if that's. I don't know.
But people are saying.
No, go ahead.
People are saying this Willy Wonka exhibit will now eclipse those things that now Firefest because they have announced another Fire Fest, that they are finally out of the fire thanks to the Glass Cow Willy
Well,
Wonka event. That
we'll
people,
see. I think they can. They'll. You know, they've probably got some surprises.
It just
Up
feels
their
not the
sleeve.
same. Because one, if in a lot of ways this is much worse than Firefest. Firefest was just like it's people that go to Coachella. Like fuck them, who cares? Like they
Right.
got
These are
fucked up. Oh well,
these are people that still have dreams to destroy.
Yeah, these are children who want to just have fun. And imagine how bad an event has to be for a child to have a bad time. Because like you could just like in a lot of situations just be like, hey, oh man, this sucks. Like, isn't this great? This is so sick.
My
And the kid will
kids
just
would
be like, yes,
probably
it
have-
is sick. It is awesome here. They just go with the flow most of the time. But this place was irredeemably bad. Like they were,
They had
like,
the
it was
cops
had
called
nothing.
on them, right?
So something else that we have to talk about that we have, it's been taking over all the memes. Everything is that Wendy's is apparently going to do surge pricing for their burgers, for their food, and there's only there's a lot of layers to this, but I mean. I've seen a lot of good memes about it. Like there's Michael Douglas, like in what is the movie where he's
Wall Street.
Yeah, Wall
really?
Street.
Oh, it's just Wall Street. Okay, yeah.
Just go.
And he's like, when I buy the burgers before lunch hour and sell them at 12:15 before the tip or whatever for 27% profit. And I guess the worst part is it's just so believable. Like it just seems like something America, the fast food companies would do at this point. They're just like, fuck it. Charge as much as you can whenever you can. Do it. Do it now. $10 a burger.
I thought it was weird because like I just assumed that it was going to be the way that I saw it reported on was different than how they kind of pitched it afterward. Did you guys see that like statement that Wendy's made?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just horseshit and they were just doing damage control. But
well, yeah, is this a New York Post invention? Like
it seems like it could be.
That's what we're reading.
Because like the way that, because I always thought that was weird. I'm like that's just feels like that anybody who goes to Wendy's is going to be like, I just paid more for my Wendy's because I went during lunch, which is going to piss me off, right? But they might not do that if you're like, hey, I went to Wendy's at like 8:30 and I paid like 20% less. People might be like, oh, that seems like that could be maybe a good ploy to get people in. And that's how they pitched it after the fact in that response that they had, where they were like, we're trying to drive people to come to our restaurants on off hours.
I'm just so sick of fast food shit because like I feel like they do so much with. I feel like it's like a marketing thing where if they did come up with this idea, like sure they're gonna follow through with it, but I think mostly it's just to go viral and like become like memes.
Yeah,
that's
a great
all right.
point.
This meme, of course it would. I don't know why I'm asking this, but I was going to ask, do you think this meme is making people eat more Wendy's?
I think they're trying to get in front of any like people in whatever way that they can, honestly.
Yeah, Wendy's
just
has already
seeing
been
Wendy's
on
makes me hungry for it. So.
Well, there you go. That's exactly what I was going to say. Is
I
that
want a
I've been
Baconator.
doing the fast food fake meme pages for years now, and just making the memes, like just looking at the food makes me want to go eat it. Like that's the bad part, and that's what I always think about.
Yeah, even though you're putting like diarrhea,
yeah.
You kind of want to go eat.
Oh, sure,
the
because
source
you
material.
start with an actual image of a taco or a a Baja Blast. It's fine, like I always say that it's like because when we get weird shit like copyright infringement strikes on our pages by like literally I've had it from like the Sonic drive-in lawyers have like taken one of my pages down, and I'm like, okay, so somebody at that actual company saw this shit and was moved to take it down. I'm like, you don't actually understand what's going on here. It's like, yes, I'm making a joke of your company, but I'm still showing your fucking food to everyone. It's you, and your own posts do not get near as many likes and shares as what I just
True. Yeah, people do not directly engage with brands on social media, and if they do, they're freaks, and you do not want.
Except for Steakums.
You do not want those people in your restaurant.
I mean, and to be fair, Wendy's has been one of the earliest ones to lean into like shit posting as a legit social media, advertising campaign. Like they have someone that just posts like blocks of all caps shit that's like, Deborah God bless, like doing the fucking old guy biker memes on their main social media. Like,
They're like so much so that you read that headline, and I was just like, how can Wendy stand for this? Because of her presence on Twitter, because they've done so well with like making her like a shit poster and like a catty bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah. And yeah, exactly. And I think they're gonna need to invent a storyline where she was silenced, which
or something.
it's a very iffy area, I think, to get into.
well, let me ask y'all this, because what I may be misinterpreting it from the way y'all were talking about it. I'm wondering if I've got the wrong idea, but like when I read this statement I don't know what it says, to Wendy's system, which I'm assuming is that like all franchises or something that it seems a little maybe not accurate or not real. But to
Mhm.
me, the description is that, okay, they were on a shareholder call and they described just putting in electronic menu boards so that they could adjust price dynamically, to me, which means, that could be anything, right? I mean, that could be breakfast to
Right.
lunch, that could be well, we just added, a 6-piece nugget for this deal or whatever. You like, it doesn't to me imply, oh, we're going to price gouge, we're going to adjust prices like
Right.
cryptocurrency changes like every second, like.
Exactly. No, it makes me, it makes me think that they just wanted to. It seems like the press conference or the company call or whatever was about like, oh, we're getting these menu boards, and now we don't have to pay a fee every time we change the
But
information,
okay,
because we don't have to
so
go
that's
through
the
it.
thing that gets me. This has already been a thing for so long. Like, I mean, I've not been to any McDonald's or Wendy's where if you're going through the drive-through, that shit is just a screen now,
It's a
right? Like,
screen,
I
yeah.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's not even like they're
Mm-hmm.
changing big posters or, like you go way
Right.
back where what they had to
Yeah.
put the
It's
little letters in the fucking marquee
Oh
I
board.
had
And
to
you're
do
God.
like,
that when I worked at McDonald's. Yeah,
wow.
Yo,
yeah,
really? Holy
yeah. That's how
shit.
long ago
So
it was.
that's what's
Damn.
boggling my mind is like, well, they could have been doing this the whole time. Every time you drive up to McDonald's, they could have been, replacing. Like,
For sure.
Yeah, but they would have had to pay. They would have had to pay every time they did it.
why?
Because I think they have to go through some sort of. But that's what it said in the article,
Oh,
is that they were saying, there won't be any, overhead in this anymore. Like that's the big change. Is these boards, I think can just be changed from within the restaurant without any sort of like,
Well, I still have problems with
I
Third
that
don't know,
party.
cloud
'cause
based
I'll
service
go
or
to
whatever.
McDonald's where they have, it'll say like ice cream machine broken. It doesn't, but it'll say like an ice cream sundae and it'll be like out of stock right now. Like it always says that because the
Right.
ice cream machine's always broken. But I'm like,
Because but maybe it costs 5 cents to change that every
wow.
time.
Okay.
I don't know.
I hear
Like
you.
That's crazy.
it's because it's probably like some weird transactional thing that whoever initially can't, like whoever has a monopoly at this point on digital menu boards, like they've got a stranglehold on these
I mean,
companies. They got them
you're
right by
joking, but
they got Ronald
And
by the
that's
honestly,
that's
balls.
literally
You
the
good for
case
them.
with the ice cream machines. I don't know if y'all read about that, but the people who supply the parts for ice cream machines apparently have a fucking monopoly on, and that's why so many of these machines will go down and not be
That makes
fixed in a
sense.
timely manner. I
I
read
believe it.
articles
Yeah.
about this thinking it was a
Yeah.
joke, and I'm like,
In
oh,
in shitification, that's like the big word, right? Is that like, is this like capitalism reaching critical mass, and it's just everything's a monopoly now. So it's just, once it gets to that point, you don't have to do anything. You can just kind of game the system to see how much profit you can suck out of whatever situation you have.
It's kind of like whipping your tits out if you have a plastic baby.
Just
The enshittification of
I kind of like this in
breastfeeding.
shitification now. I think I like this in shitification. It's working for me.
I like this guy.
I want to watch videos of that on TikTok.
TikTok.
It's rare that I root for anything that happens under capitalism these days. So hey, you gotta take the wins where you can get them, I guess.
Oh,
Saw a
sure,
titty.
yeah.
All right, not so bad.
It does actually make your day better. Wasn't there like an article that
Oh,
came out that
yeah.
was like looking at breasts for like 30 seconds a day is more beneficial to your long-term health than going to the gym. Did anyone else see that?
Just seems insane, and there's no way that that's true.
Yeah, I mean, the
It's-
That's why
correlations
women
you
live
have to
longer.
create. What?
That's the real reason. They just like,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I get
Makes
it.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, every time I whip them out in the mirror, I add an extra week to my life.
I mean, I can
20.
see it.
Beautiful.
It's stress relieving, kind of that kind of thing that people have less heart attacks because they saw titties, like, for a few seconds.
Yes, right, exactly. So if somebody's ever in your presence and their arm goes numb, just show them your tits.
I like thinking about like a guy. They're like interviewing a guy like who's like 110 years old. And they're like, what's the key to longevity? Well, I look at breasts, any breast I can. I just go up to people and ask if I can see their breasts, and that's what you need to do.
I'm gonna drop you all the articles so I don't sound like an insane person. I was able to Google
I
it.
remember that.
And
Yeah.
within moments, doctors say looking at busty women for 10 minutes a day is good for your health. So
Busty women.
this was extra.
Wow,
Yeah,
looking at
someone
busty
took the
women.
time to create a correlation that,
Hmm.
of course.
Oh yeah, the stories on this site. Yeah, this looks like a real.
Yeah,
credible
definitely.
website.
Yeah. Well, okay, we got to wrap it here. Thank you all listeners for tuning in. I hope that you will spend the rest of your time looking out for your own health by getting a propaganda of some titties on the rest of your evening. But we have plenty more to talk about, such as self-checkouts are disappearing. I wonder why that's happening. Something called friendultory, AI sucking up pretty much the entire internet, and more. So if you'd like to hear that, join us on the bonus feed on Patreon or Spotify, or join us in the Suck Shame posting, because there's bots invading the fucking group in the chat. We need your help. They won't stop posting weird butthole stuff. So join the group. And
I mean, kind of asked and answered, really.
yeah, it
Kind of
happens on
us.
all my groups, to be fair, not just the Suck. But you can also join the Discord. There's no bots there. But we'll see you all next week or on the bonus feed.
Later.
Bye.
And sorry, we're forgetting about my little medical health segment. We do it at the end of the show every week.
Mhm.
This week I'm letting you know that if you're over 40, you should spend at least 10 minutes daily admiring breasts sized decup.
Maybe they'll be breastfeeding, on TikTok. Maybe
Yeah,
that might help.
breastfeeding.
That's your thing.
Yep, just
for
search for breastfeeding on Instagram and TikTok. Bye.
Goodbye.
Later.